I am Patrick Lynch. I'm from Iona College in New York. I am from Mineola, Long Island, New York. Let's see, I am studying public relations and sociology. I'm a dual major. And basically, the Journey of Hope, what the Journey of Hope is, it was created in 1987. We had one man, Bruce Rogers, and he traveled across the country for this common cause, just the differently abled and people with disabilities. So 1987 hit, the trip occurred, and today we're thriving with three different routes. We have the North Route, we have the Trans-America Route, and we also have the South Route, which is where we are today in Birmingham, Alabama. So basically the trip for the South Route, it's 62 days. It is we start out from Long Beach, California, and we go all the way over to Washington, D.C. So 62 days, we have, I think, 6 or 7 off days, but besides that, we're traveling and cycling across the country. So it's 3,700 miles, and all of that is kind of just to build awareness and raise funds for people with disabilities. So we've raised over $570,000 thus far between the 3 separate routes, and we've been having such a great time doing this. And after every day with the long days of cycling, we'll have different friendship visits and different programming events. For example, last night we were at the Miracle League in Moody, Alabama, which was fantastic and just so different. Just such a different experience for a lot of the guys. And we worked with different participants and buddied up, and we just played softball with the differently abled, and it was honestly fantastic. And it's moments like those which really a lot of the guys here, that's why we come out here. And for example, yesterday at the Miracle League, I was buddied up with another cyclist with this little girl named Clara, and she was 4 years old, and she was visually impaired, and just playing softball with someone that was visually impaired was just so different for me. I was doing a lot of things that you wouldn't necessarily do if you were playing with someone who was visually impaired. So just being able to kind of have that empathy and have that experience, it really does mean a lot to me, and that's kind of what motivates these guys to just continue to get on the bike. So basically the Journey of Hope, that's kind of what it is, and the Journey of Hope is the one of the summer events of the Ability Experience. So the Ability Experience works for that same common goal, and that's with people with disabilities, raising funds and awareness for them, and just that idea of equality, that we're all equals, and just that idea of accessibility as well, that we can all come together and kind of just do the same things. And places like this facility at Lakeshore, just making sure that everyone's kind of able to do whatever they want, whether it's marksmanship and archery or wheelchair basketball and other different sports. We just love to come out to these different organizations and be able to see kind of just everyone being able to play together. So,
how many guys do you have actually riding the bicycle?
Yep, so we have 26 cyclists.
And then how many crew do you have?
We have 9 crew members.
What do the crew members do?
So the crew members, depending on the heat, depending on the mileage, we will space out between every 5 and 10 miles in our crew vans, and we'll set up water and snacks. Cliff is one of our sponsors, so we have them, their snacks kind of out with us just to make sure that our cyclists are hydrated, they're fresh, and they're able to kind of go those 100 miles, or for example, tomorrow into Carrollton, Georgia, it'll be a 125-mile day. So we just make sure that our cyclists are safe, they're comfortable, and they're ready for the ride.
What do the cyclists do after this is over?
So after this is over, honestly, for a lot of these guys, they go back to school, or if they graduated, they'll go back to their jobs, or they'll go looking for a job. But one of the big things is that they take away all the experiences that they had on this trip, which range from so many different things and so many experiences. And again, that's one of the big reasons a lot of these guys are here. Just it's beautiful how many different kind of things that you can take away, and different personality traits through the people that you meet and the different people that you interact with, whether it be the media or different participants or the sponsors that are hospitable enough to lend us their house or lend us their facility. And just the people that you meet along the way are really the people that motivate you the most. And
what do you do as PR director?
All right, so the PR director, I work with the media directly. So we have someone in office, our public relations coordinator. He works with 2 of the separate routes, so he works with them. He sends out all the press releases, media kits to local areas that we'll be going through and the different media outlets there. So, and then my job is to call day of, get those day of calls in and let them know about the programming that we have for that day and ask if they would like to come out. So we've been pretty successful so far, and we really thank all of those outlets coming out and covering our story, because getting that message out and that awareness is really one of those big goals that we do have here. So.
How many TV stations, radio stations, newspapers, and magazines do y'all hope to cover on this trip, or have you covered so far?
Honestly, as many outlets that are in those towns that we passed through, but I was talking to our PR director in office, and he must have mentioned at least 50 different outlets. So honestly, hearing that just means a lot to myself personally and to all these guys on the trip, because just talking about that motivation of getting on the bike, having other people on the streets and just other people know about the organization, what we're doing, it really does mean a lot. So those media outlets of getting our story out, that is something that really does mean a lot to us.
What do you do when you get back? What's in the future?
Hitting me hard, but honestly, I've been thinking about it every day, whether it's in the van on our way to a friendship visit, or sleeping in my sleeping bag on my way to get ready for the next day. And there's so much out there, honestly, and I've thought about coming back to cycle next year potentially, being a crew member this year, just seeing all the work that goes into actually getting on that bike and going to each separate destination, and that's something that I feel like might be a passion for myself, but also in the future I would love to work in public relations and work with the media, so definitely an internship is definitely in the future, and potentially building an image in that industry as well. But obviously one of the biggest reasons why I'm here and is for the differently abled people with disabilities. So coming back with that mindset of, well, is this place accessible for everyone? Because honestly, that's still a problem that some people have, is whether this gas station doesn't have a curb where anyone can go up. And it's kind of just keeping that eye out, or for example, a playground that might not be accessible to people of all abilities. So it's just keeping that in mind whenever you're just around. So that's definitely something I'll bring back as well.